is going to be a very good month. Okay, I just feel like everything is like either propelling, accelerating, reaching some type of a summit. And I just feel like things are really moving up and going up from here. Okay, so it's all going to be great. Okay, it's going to be a very exciting month. So when I was shuffling out the spread, what I saw was a scene at a horse race. It also feels to me like the Kentucky Derby. Okay, it looks to me as if it might be in the 1930s or 1940s, based on the way the people were dressed. And so I see a bunch of people walking with the women have, long dresses, and the men are dressed really, really nice, and they have top hats on. The weather is nice and mild, not too hot. The sun is out, and I see these women. They look like Southern belles, okay, and they have like parasols or umbrellas, really frilly, delicate-looking umbrellas, and they're kind of like um, hovering under the shade of the umbrella, walking alongside their significant other or the men in their lives, and getting to the chairs at this what looks like the racetrack where the horses are getting ready to be raced. And so I see this woman. She's a brunette. She looks very young, like probably in her 20s. She's there looking around, looking a little bit like not too impressed, a little bit bored. And a man just, that accompanied her. So she's sitting down on in the spectator area, and the man walks over with something for her to, to eat. And he tells her, like, you should place a bet. It makes it more interesting for you to watch this if you have something that you're investing in it. And then she looks at him skeptically, and then he tells her it's going to be really fun. You enjoy it. And she was all like, well, I have nothing to lose. I guess I want to make this enjoyable too. So she places a bet, and she gives him the money. He places the bet for her. And the horse that I'm seeing it's a number 3. Okay, it's got like a series of numbers, but I'm only able to make out number 3. And that's the horse that he places the bet on. And so, all of this is generating a lot of excitement with all the spectators. Everything is just very glamorous. There's a spirit of like anticipation and a lot of just brewing excitement bubbling to the surface, okay? And so as the minute goes by, she gets more excited and she's like, oh, this is a good idea to place a bet. And then when her horse is getting ready to be raised, she is really intently looking at it, looking through her binoculars, making sure that she's able to spot where her horse is. And then, right then and there, you see a bunch of horses coming out of the gate, running, speeding very, very quickly. The woman is cheering. She's very into it. And then at the end of the race, her horse wins. Okay. And she is looking at the man like incredulously, like just, I can't believe it. I can't believe, like, what great luck, what beginner's luck. And so the scene cuts out. Now, that was a very extensive and a very involved scene. You're seeing something from the very beginning all the way to the final stages. And things rarely come in this clearly for me. So I just feel like very different and exciting that's coming into the picture for you. And I feel that with it comes a whirlwind of emotions, and you're just kind of like, caught up in it. I feel like it's something new. It could be a new project, a new endeavor, a new person. Somebody who is a little bit adventurous, embracing this new opportunity and really making the most out of it, because I feel like no matter what, the experience is going to be very enjoyable for you. And what I've been feeling for the past few months, I, I would say for the past few years, for a lot of you Aquarius, is that, a lot of the times you can be impulsive and you can be very spontaneous. But when it comes to the things that actually matter, You guys are very meticulous planners. You like to plan things. You like to, figure out all the ins and outs. You like to project possibilities and probabilities of something happening. And so I feel that at your core, you're not very easygoing, okay? And I don't mean that in any type of a way that might be belittling or chastising or, um, like it's not a criticism. It's just an observation, okay? You guys are not as easygoing and as spontaneous when it comes to the big things, when it comes to the things that matter, right? And so I feel like for the past few years, you've been planning things really methodically. You've been, I guess, like mulling over major decisions before you make these decisions. Where am I going to live? What city am I going to be in? Where am I going to enroll my kids? What car I'm going to get? Like these big decisions, you deliberate. You do your research. You find out a lot of details. And so life for the past few years have not been very spontaneous, right? And I feel for many of you, you lack that, or you're craving that sense of childhood excitement, okay? When a child is completely immersed in whatever he or she is doing, he or she tunes out everything around them, okay? The distraction, and then before you know it, time just flies by. So I feel like there haven't been a lot of opportunities within the past few years that would allow you to have a truly immersive experience and really engage and interact, heart, body, and soul with something. And I feel like this opportunity is coming into the picture where you're kind of like, especially if for those of you who have been a little bit like hesitant, a little bit standoffish, a little bit like, oh, I don't know if that's going to work out, like skeptical. I feel like there's something that's really catching your attention, pulling you in, and asking you, throw cautions to the wind, whatever will be, will be. Let's not, waste time and brain cells and energy and effort planning things that in the greater scheme of things won't even matter. Let's not plan for the future. Let's just throw caution to the wind and let's just, enjoy the moment. And I feel that whatever this situation is that's allowing you to activate this side of you, it is something that's really, it's something that you've always wanted to try. It's something that at first glance, it's like, oh, I don't know about that. I don't know the potential. I don't know the capabilities of that. I don't know if it's going to go the long distance. I don't know if it's going to go the long distance. That comes up a lot because I feel like it's a horse race, so it's like it's a sprint, it's not a marathon, right? But you're looking for durability. You're looking for something that is a marathon and not a sprint. So you want something durable, you want something long lasting, sustaining, and that can carry you the long distance. And so you're looking at a situation like, I don't know, I see myself here, for the next year, but I don't know beyond that. I see myself in this relationship for the next few months, but I don't know beyond that. I see myself working on this project for the next few months, but I don't know if I want to make it, a career for the rest of my life. And so I feel like there was something, or there will be something, that it will really exceed your expectation if you kind of, throw caution to the wind a little bit and really explore this option. Okay? So that's what I'm seeing here with that first scene. So the second message, not an image, but a message that I got was I feel like it's just, adrenaline, pure adrenaline, which is not a bad thing because I felt like your energy is very control and very restrained. So having a little bit of adrenaline is actually a good thing in my book. Whereas, like, let's say if I were reading, if I were doing a reading for like an Aries or like a Sagittarius, and they're not normally controlled and constrained, and there's a lot of adrenaline, I would be worried. But I feel like for your energies, it's actually a very good counterbalance, mainly because, and funnily enough, I did I did the Capricorn reading last night, and then I shuffled the cards this morning, and then I just pulled out your cards right now, and you got the same card that fell in the same position as Capricorn. It's so weird. And let me just say, this is your energy, okay? We have here the Knight of Pentacles, the slowest moving knight in the deck. And this is what I mentioned earlier when I said, you know, you're very restrained. You're very observant. You're the planner. You're the type to, like, I want to know what all it entails before I jump in. So I feel like, you know, once burned, twice shy. You might have been hesitant um, about embarking on a new situation because you've learned from the past, because you might have been burned over something that you might have impulsively gotten yourself into in the past. I'm hearing hot water. So, you know, things you might have said that got you in hot water, or things you might have done that might have been impulsive, spur of the moment. It lacked foresight and planning. And then it ended changing your life in a way that might not have been expected, or it might not have been something that you completely wanted at that time. I feel like regardless, everything worked out the way that it was supposed to be, but you're in this state here where you're observing. So he's on a hill looking, scouting, looking at the horizon, looking at what's below, and figuring out, you know, do I need to fight another day? I have my armor on. Is it safe? Should I move forward a little bit? Should I, like, what should I do? So he's in this state of just, you know, passively looking on, okay? And I feel like there is a situation here, and I feel like it's heavily relationship focused. Once again, another big relationship focus. I feel that there's some news, some communication, some information coming at you, and you're not really sure what to do. Okay? Um, what he's looking at here is the Page of Wands, and this Page of Wands is the declaration of something. For some of you, this is an invitation to a sporting event. Wanting you to be a part of a league, wanting you to participate in their team, wanting you to be a part of a tournament, wanting you to engage in some way in some type of a physical activity. I also feel with the Ace of Cups, this is an outpouring of a love gesture from another person. Okay, it's a massive, massive, massive outpouring. Okay, we have here this giant Ace of Cups. It's the key to something. And I feel like for many of you, this is long awaited, but this is also very unexpected. You've been kind of, I feel for many of you, this is like a new relationship, okay? You might have dated somebody new within the past few months, within the past few weeks. And I feel like this is the month where they are really making their feelings and their emotions known to you. I'm also sensing for many of you, if you have been waiting on a person, especially community was turning a new leaf, turning over a new leaf, wanting to come towards you, wanting to offer something. And you've been waiting, waiting, waiting. And I feel like you have invested a lot of time on yourself. Okay? Not wanting to waste your energy, keeping yourself preoccupied and productive, not wanting to be distracted, not wanting to, I guess, like ruminate in that space where you are kind of like caught up in your emotions, because you know that I don't want to think about it. I don't want to waste time on it. I don't want to be unproductive. So I'm just going to stay here, keep busy, keep myself distracted, do whatever I need to do from my end. And if it comes, it comes. If not, I don't need to worry about it. So I feel like for many of you, there's definitely a situation here where you might have given hope. You might have given up hope. You might have thought, like, you know, nothing is going to come out of it. You might have thought that I was a fool, I'm hearing. I put so much of myself into it. I wasted so much time ruminating and mulling over the situation, and nothing's going to come out of it, because the gesture, the message, the attempt, the effort was so slow. It was like so painfully, painfully, painfully slow. It was as slow as you could get. And so coming through in the month of January, you have something straight out of the gate, the horses breaking free from the gate and racing. Okay, so you have energy coming in that is very, very fast. A lot of communication, a lot of passionate, like text messages, information coming through. I'm hearing like, kind of like the pinball machine where where the metal ball is hitting all the pins. And every time it hits, it ding, 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 dings. So like I'm hearing those dings, and it's all over the place. So I feel like there's a lot of commotion, a lot of activity, a lot of messages, a lot of things coming into the picture. And we have here the Ace of Wands, something really passionate, a lot of planning, a lot of things finally. I feel like the groundwork has been laid, and now these things are really starting to take off, okay? It's paired here with the Page of Wands. So I feel like, message received and then message responded to, okay? Somebody calling you and you happen to miss their call, you call them back right away and they pick up. So no one is leaving anybody on red, okay? So no one is like avoiding communication. No one is holding back. No one is hesitant. It's all action oriented. It's all passion. It's all fiery, and it's all like, let's get things started. Let's get on the road. Let's get things moving. So there's a lot of movement. I feel like a little bit of like impatience, but I feel like things are moving along so that impatience is going to somewhat diminish. Okay. So you are in very high demand this month, Aquarius. I feel many of you are in high demand for sporting events. I feel like I'm hearing trivia. So if your work environment or your friends are really into that, I feel like they're trying to, argue over who gets you on their team, because you guys are very smart and you're very knowledgeable and you have like a bunch of knowledge about a lot of things. So you would be a perfect candidate for trivia. I'm also feeling as well, people are fighting to have you on their team. So if it's like a sporting league, they're fighting to have you on their team. If it's like a work situation, they want you on their team. They want to train you. They want to groom you. They want you for something. If it's a love relationship type of a situation, I feel like there might be a lot of people. Like I see a bunch of people coming into your environment, and I see them kind of forming a circle around you, and you're kind of like in the middle. It's sort of like, I hate that show, but that's the only thing I can come up with. It's sort of like The Bachelor or The Bachelorette show. I don't watch it. I hate it. I feel like it's just, terrible, terrible, terrible. But you know how you have like one person in the middle, and they have like candidates and suitors all around them, and they're trying to figure out who they give their offer to, and that's why I hate it. That's what it feels like. It's like somebody, a bunch of people they're forming like a circle around you, and you're in the middle and you're looking around to see who the best candidate is. Okay. So I feel like you're very, very much in high demand. Things are going to be quite busy in a very good way. A lot of exciting things are going to creep up. I'm also feeling as well for those of you who you might not even be like looking for work, but I feel like new opportunities are being kind of like asked of you or being given to you. So for example, you might just like be at work and you're kind of like going to the water cooler, and along the way you hear, so like you inadvertently overhear somebody having a conversation, and they're like, oh, such and such position is open. They're hiring 3 people, or something like that. And you're like, wait a minute, I could apply for that. Things like that. So like being in the right place at the right time. And I would say it's not just sheer luck, Aquarius. I feel like you are being divinely guided to, get up and go to that water cooler so that you can eavesdrop and overhear these conversations, because I feel like they're really asking you to, step up, move up, or get things going, okay? Many of you, I feel, will be very motivated to start some type of an exercise regimen. where if you're trying to, train for a marathon, if you're trying to get more physically active, if you're trying to lose weight, whatever. So it's like dedication, energy, and so right off the gate, right out of the gate, you're going to feel very motivated. Okay, so this is definitely a really good time for you to start moving things along and initiating things and moving, taking action, and just, whatever you've been putting off, whatever you've been procrastinating on, putting off, and you might have put off a lot of things, and a lot of it has to do with self-care, self-care, being good to yourself, being good to your body. I feel like this is a good year for you to take care of your emotional, physical, and mental health, okay? So I see that energy coming in where you're being more conscientious about that, about what you eat, what you're putting in your body, how to take better care of yourself, what your mental health needs are, so that you can, build yourself back up, okay? So at the center of the spread, we have two of the most amazing cards in the deck as it relates to, love, relationships, emotional fulfillment, and all of those things. So we have here the Ace of Cups. This is overflowing. And then we have the Ten of Cups. I honestly feel like for many of you, this is a wish come true when it comes to a partner, okay? Meeting a kindred counterpart. And it just feels to me like I'm getting this image of like everything converging, okay? It's like a series of life decision, life events that led to this moment, okay? Where, it's almost like we always wonder, why did I take that job? Why did I move to that city? Why did I, start working on in this location? And so we never really understand if everything was, coincidental, if everything was happening by chance, or if there was some type of a grand affirmation that there is no coincidence, there is no chance. It doesn't mean that everything is preordained and we have no free will. We definitely have free will. But I feel what it's saying here is that, everything that you have done so far, or all the choices that you have made, has led you to this exact moment in time where you are reaping that total emotional fulfillment. Okay, so I feel like for many of you, you're getting a confirmation of something. Either, and I feel for many of you, a love relationship where you're meeting the one. Okay, some of you might be proposed to, some of you might be tying the knot with somebody. And then I also feel for many of you, you might be crossing paths with somebody that will play a very significant role in your life for the next phase of your life. So this is a huge defining moment. And, our lives is not just defined by love relationships, okay? But I do feel there is a significant person here that will walk the next phase of your life with you. And I do feel for many of you, this is like we're going from the Ace, number 1, to the 10, the end. Okay, so it's like something is tremendously like accelerated. It's accelerated so fast that you're hit with it, you're hooked, and before you know it, it's a full-blown relationship. Okay. For example, what I'm seeing here literally is you run into somebody at a bar and you're just like, oh, I'm just here with my friends, just meeting up and having a drink with even coworkers, and you never think much of it, and you're just like, it's a bar, I don't want to meet people right now. And then you meet somebody and you have great conversation, great chemistry, and before you know it, it becomes like a full-blown relationship. So I feel like a timeline is being folded where you're accelerating things, taking things to the next level in a very short period of time. I would say even, falling in love and finding somebody who is exactly like you. These two creatures are like identical, okay? And I usually think of this as like, you know, a very strong twin energy. Okay, so you might be dealing with someone who is exactly like you. You might be dealing with someone who thinks like you, who has the same likes and dislikes. I feel like for a lot of Aquarius, correct me if I'm wrong, but like you like to have your bed sheets really straight. Okay, like you don't like it when the bed sheets like bunch up, and then you can feel it on your skin. Like you can feel it when you're lying on top of it and it's bunched up and it's under your skin. And so, you know, the partner that you might meet has the same quirks. Okay, these things in the greater scheme of things, they don't really matter, but it really helps the move the relationship along. Okay, so I definitely feel here where you're meeting somebody that is very similar to you. All the things that other people have said about you that have been like odd or quirky or strange, this person gets it. Okay, so I feel like, you know, if you felt like you didn't quite fit in the past, you're meeting someone who is exactly like you and they get you. So there's already prerequisites for like a very strong emotional connection coming into the picture. I'm also feeling as well, for those of you who have been dealing with a person and, you know, you were waiting for them for a really long time. They took their sweet time. And you never thought it was going to happen. And you focus on you. You drew back your energy. Focus on you, building up your own light. And while you're distracted, while your energy is over here, focusing on all the abundance in your life and taking care of yourself, I feel like there's a message coming through and there's a breakthrough in the communication between the two of you. And I feel like the communication happens really swiftly, very fast. And I do sense like before you know it, there's this outpouring of emotions and things like that coming through from the other person. So it's very strong. It makes me feel almost like there might have been distance, emotional or physical. It makes me also feel like there might have been misunderstandings between the two of you. And now that there's a period where you both are making up, there is an outpouring, a gesture, and just a sense of like coming together, feeling very complete, feeling as if you will never be separated. Okay, so I definitely feel emotional or geographical distance that might be bridged in a very swift way. Okay, so it looks really great. It looks wonderful, and I'm really glad to see this for you, Aquarius. So that's these three cards. They're screaming out, you know, great passion, great romance, great chemistry, great compatibility as well. Don't get me wrong. It's not just, you know, fun and games. There's great chemistry and compatibility, and also a really strong emotional connection where two people want the same things out of life. Two people want the same level of commitment. Two people want to be inseparable because they look at themselves as if they're kindred souls and they don't want to be apart. Okay, so you're meeting someone who's very much like you, who wants the same things as you do. And I feel like the passion, the chemistry, the compatibility is so strong. On the other side, so we have like 4 cards left. These are also very, very good cards. Don't be alarmed. I'm trying to recall the message that came out when these 2 cards flipped out. I feel like for many of you, wait a minute, it's coming through. So give me just a moment. Let me focus on that. Okay, so I'm seeing that that picture, the Van Gogh painting, the Starry Night. Okay, and you know how each stroke is like you can feel it's an impressionist painting. Okay, and impressionism is just, you know, it's capturing something, is capturing the impression of something. It doesn't have to be the exact thing, but it's capturing the impression. So the way that he does his brush strokes, you know that he's painting the clouds, the stars, even though the brush strokes are heavily exaggerated, right? So you know it's a landscape scene. So that's what I'm sensing. Um, and I was seeing somebody painting it on, and then I was also seeing I was seeing like, I saw like a fan in the background. To each stroke is painted on with a lot of paint. And so this person who's painting it has a fan in the background, and it's blowing so that the paint can dry and so that the artist can add different layers to it. Okay. So what I'm feeling here is like, somebody is rushing through a process, kind of like cutting corners. Okay. And it's like having that extra boost, having that extra prop or tool in terms of having the fan blowing so that the paint can dry faster, so that it can accelerate or speed up the process. Okay, so then the artist can put more layers on. So I feel like there's a situation here where you're realizing that things are happening in a very accelerated way. So that basically means you have to be ready, you have to be willing, you have to understand that, it's a work in process. It's constantly evolving. Where I'm going with this is we cannot sit and mull over decisions for too long. We have to constantly, it's like, don't sit there and watch the paint dry. You need to keep moving. Okay. What I have here is the Page of Coins. Okay. Opportunities are calling, and you have to be quick on the uptake. We have you in the past looking, and, kind of like scanning the horizon, trying to figure out, where do I step next? Where do I go next? And you have a massive amount of information coming through, places you might like to visit, invitations from friends and people wanting you to, come see them, or them to come see you. And you have solid work offers, job offers, projects that are going to be coming into the picture. And we have the Fool, where you should not shy away from anything. You should not be afraid and turn things down out of fear. You should also, I want to say, take these opportunities in the spirit of fearlessness, in the spirit of, you know what, I'm capable, I'm competent, I know I can do it. So even if it sounds a little bit daunting and scary, it doesn't faze me. Okay, so jump in first, ask questions later, throw caution to the wind, starting on your new adventure, and traveling light without the emotional baggage from the past. For many of you, travel opportunity from overseas would be calling you, and you're just like, I don't know if I'm ready to do that. Who's going to take care of my dog? What's going to happen to my, boyfriend or girlfriend? Who's going to take care of my house? Who's going to babysit? Things like that. And I just feel like, everything is going to work themselves out. You're not going to, leave anybody stranded. But I do feel like it's saying, take these opportunities. They are gifted to you. So like, wrapped up in nice, shiny, sparkly wrapping paper with a bow on it. It's specifically got your name on it with a label, a space to put your name. And so I feel like it's not coming in out of pure chance. This is something divinely guided and divinely orchestrated so that it could come into the picture for you this time around, your solar return. So I feel like there's a lot of things coming in here where you're going to feel like it's like in succession, one after another, and also in a very accelerated, fast, swift manner. And you need to be fast on the uptake. So don't let these opportunities pass you by, okay? The way you're coming across here, we have the King of Swords. And the King of Swords, this is like very smug, very content, very happy, right? Look at his face. Okay. He's got a bird on his hand, and this is like a peace offering. Okay. Somebody might be coming to you with a peace offering, with an offer, with communication, because birds are messengers as well. And I keep hearing the words, like once burned, twice shy. I feel like the person, if they haven't been behaving correctly with you in the past, the peace offering is an apology that this person is offering up. This person is going to be explaining to you something regarding their past, where they were burned in the past, and so they're hesitant now. They're going to give you an explanation. They're going to give you some answers. They're going to, explain their behavior, explain themselves, explain why they do the things that they do, explain why they have this habit of like closing off and shutting you out. And it might feel as if they kind of, what I'm feeling is they made you feel like you were out in the cold. They made you feel like you were very alone in this relationship, I feel, for many of you. And so I'm sensing there's an explanation and an apology and a makeup and some type of a promise that it won't happen again. Okay, so I feel like that definitely somebody is putting in the effort, reaching out, finally like giving things to you on a platter, and wanting you to, take or listen to their explanation or take whatever it is that they have on the offering for you. And I feel like what they're offering right now, we have the Ten of Pentacles, which is longevity, long-term commitment, the blending of families, the blending of assets, joining up your bank account, moving in together, buying property together, getting an apartment together, getting a space, getting a dog, like sharing something that will allow the relationship to escalate to the next level. What I'm also feeling as well is for many of you, there might be, we're going here from the Page of Coins to the Ten of Coins. This is a huge acceleration as well. So I feel that your reading is punctuated by, adrenaline, acceleration, a rush of speed. Okay, so it was just like, it's like an adrenaline rush. Everything is happening so fast, so boldly, so quickly. And I feel like you're going to be really ecstatic this month. And I'm really glad to see that for you. So we have here the Star, which is, needing to take care of yourself, getting yourself on some type of a regimen where you're taking care of your health. You might be taking care of your weight or trying to maintain your weight. You might be taking care of your mental health even. You might be seeing a doctor. You might, whatever ails you, you're getting to the bottom of it, and you're getting some type of a expert advice, or you're putting your health, mental, physical, emotional, on the forefront. And whatever affects your health in those three areas of your health, you're letting it go. You're not putting your time and energy into it. And when we put ourselves first in that way, that's when we experience a lot of good blessings coming through. I also have as well, and I mentioned this in the December reading, a major uptick when it comes to your financial state. Okay, so I have the Ten of Coins, Ten of Pentacles, which is long-term wealth and investment. For many of you, you might be going through some type of a speculative venture as well, investing your money in an organization, a company, a product. You might also be speculative when it comes to your money. So like betting, I'm sensing. Not that there's anything wrong with that, okay? So betting on a game, betting on a fight, betting on something. Betting even like on just like even the Super Bowl, for example, or some type of a sport, okay? And that is what I have for you here, Aquarius. I feel like it's going to be a really good month. I'm really glad to see this for you. And, I hope everything works out. I hope it resonates, because this seems to me to be a very exciting, fun-filled reading, okay? You're not going to be bored on for the month of January. You let in. Whatever will be, will be. Don't plan too much. Don't have, expectations of what it's supposed to be before you experience it. So go with the flow a little bit. Be spontaneous, okay? Be easygoing too, but more than anything, be spontaneous. Take these opportunities, okay? You're going to find yourself very pleasantly surprised. by the end of this month. I wish you all the best, Aquarius. I'm really happy to see this for you. By the way, for those who are still emailing me regarding private reading, I don't do those anymore, but I do have a link in the description box below for a psychic. Her name is Bridget. She's based out of California. So if you're interested in a reading, I highly recommend that you book a reading through her. You can book a reading through that website, and you can enter the time, etc., and she'll get back to you. Okay? I wish you the best. Take care of yourself, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye bye.